Hello everyone and welcome to my new series Game Review, and today we are reviewing Far Cry 5, which is the part of the Far Cry series of games and comes from the developer Ubisoft. This is the chronologically 6th installment in the game, including Far Cry Primal, which was not considered in the main series but was still part of this series. So Far Cry 5 is a first person RPG game, and by my personal opinion it's a pretty good game. But to review the game, we are going to take a few aspects into mind. So there are two main aspects, which is gameplay and then the technical aspects. Under the gameplay comes the gunplay, the game world, the story, special abilities, other mechanics, and stealth. And under technical aspects comes graphics, UI, AI, size of the game, the physics, and bugs, if the game has any bugs. So let's talk about brief first. So Far Cry 5 is a first person RPG game which has a stealth part to it and is, I think, pretty much well balanced and feels like a good game. Ubisoft did a really good job making this game, as this improved the things from the previous games, however removed some aspects that we loved. And so let's start rating the game from the gameplay aspect first. So first we come to gunplay. Now the gunplay in the game is very smooth and everything reacts the way you think bullets should react and the way bullets should work, and it really feels great to play, and the gunplay feels really balanced. I would say that the gunplay in this game is a straight 10 out of 10. The next thing we come to is game world. Now the game world of Far Cry 5 is absolutely huge. It has many different aspects such as mountains, plains, wheat farms, swamps, and lakes, which contain all different kind of wildlife. The map is well balanced. You will find points of interest or important locations scattered everywhere, and everything really feels in place. It's not like something feels a bit out of place. It feels like what it would feel if you went to the state of Montana, which is where the game is based upon, and I think the game really does very great in that part. It feels a lot more expansive and explorable than the previous game, and the focus of the game is also on exploration, as in this game you do not get to climb radio towers and the whole map region becomes unlocked. You have to traverse the map to explore new areas and new points of interest. I would say that the game also does a great job at this, and they have also removed one thing which every game suffered from, is unbreakable trees. The trees in this game are breakable, however they require some force, which is understandable, and I'd say that this game really has a great game world, and I would give it a 9 out of 10. Now we come to the story aspect. So the story revolves around you being a police deputy who goes to capture a cult leader who is running a military cult or a doomsday cult, as they say, in which they believe that the world will come to an end and you have to basically arrest the guy and take him to the police. But you land in his base with his chopper to arrest him, and things do not go according to your plan. So you crash land somewhere and all of your friends are captured, all the police personnel that were with you, and you basically have to rescue them and get out of there. Now just hearing that, it may sound like it is alright, but the game story is good, and unlike the previous Far Cry games, the story is not pushing on you that you have to do the story to progress in your game. You can progress the game and finish almost the whole of the game without doing any of the story missions. The story is integrated into the part of the game which is basically capturing bases and capturing regions. So when you capture bases and capture regions, the story automatically kicks in, and this really feels very smooth, and I really feel that the story is not lacking anything and it is not really watered down for a more friendly experience. So I would say that the story is very great. I would give a 9 out of 10 on the story. Now the Special abilities part. Well, the game does not have that much special abilities. There's the hunter one, which basically makes you see everything near you across, which is basically X-ray vision, and you can see any living thing near you. And the other one being extra melee damage, and one being fast running. These all are good. However, they are not like game changing like the abilities in GTA 5, where each character had one specific ability and it really changed the game and changed the way you play the game based on which character you have selected and what their special ability is. However, so I would say that in special abilities the game would get a 6, as there's not a lot of them, or they aren't very used. Now the game mechanics. Well, the basic mechanics of the game, such as the prepper stash, which is basically stash that people made because they believed that this cult may actually do something which is very harmful. The mechanic of taking outpost and liberating regions, having a boss battle, and then winning that boss battle is really interesting, and it's very much mixed in with other parts of the game, so it doesn't feel like another chore. When you capture outposts and liberate regions, you automatically start to progress the game, which feels very smooth and really makes you appreciate the game. So I would give a 10 out of 10 on the mechanics part, as all the mechanics work as they were intended to and feels really smooth rather than feeling like they don't belong in the game. Now we come to the stealth. Now I would like to say that the stealth in the game is good. You can stealthily come behind a guy, knock him out, and basically take over outpost without anyone knowing. So whenever you fire a sniper, fire a shot from long distance, one guy turns at you and they instantly see you, which is one thing I felt that shouldn't happen, especially if you're sniping them from a long distance. You have a sniper, you have a great power scope, you have a suppressor so that they didn't hear the noise or see the light, but they still see you somehow, which is where the stealth part is really lacking. However, it's still great stealth, and you can really compare its stealth to great stealth games. So I would like to give the stealth part an 8 out of 10, and I'm cutting 2 marks just because of the fact that they can see you even if you are 100 meters away from them, firing a suppressed sniper rifle. Now we come to the technical aspects. So first we have graphics. The graphics in this game are absolutely stunning, and they really feel like they're super realistic. I play this game on low to medium settings, but the graphics still look stunning, and the way they render things at the distance, so it feels like you actually see them from a distance, is really great. So I would say that the graphics get a solid 10 out of 10 because they are great. Now UI. Previous Far Cry games or Ubisoft games generally had a bit more cluttered UI, with your health bar at one corner, your minimap at one corner, and your objectives at one corner, and just some random text going by all along. They fixed that a little bit in Far Cry 3 by simplifying it all into one minimap with your health bar around it. In Far Cry 4 they made it much more simpler. However, in Far Cry 5 there's just one compass which is barely visible at the top of the screen, and your ammo and your health is on the right hand corner, but it is not visible unless you start firing or you are hit by something, which you may think is not that great, but it really immerses you into the game rather than taking you out and it feeling like a video game. It really feels great, and it feels like you're living the moment, and the barely visible compass has not become a hindrance in any way. And when you first start using this, you may feel like you're lost because you had a habit before to look at the minimap and navigate that way. However, after some time you will just be like, it will work for you. So I would say the UI is very much clear, and even the game menus and the graphic settings are just all smooth. The menus also feel great. So I would say that the UI also gets a great 9 out of 10. Now game AI. AI of this game is really great, but like I said in the stealth portion, just one guy looks at you and he notices you instantly, which is where I think that the AI lacks, and the rest of the time AI behaves like what you expect the AI to behave. That is, when you knock out someone, they look around for a while, and instead of just going onto just stagnant mode after a few minutes, they still stay a bit alert. And I would say that the AI is really great, so I would like to give the game AI a 9 out of 10, and I'm cutting one mark because like I said, instantly seeing from 100 meters. Now the size of the game. For the size of the game world and the good quality of the graphics, I would say that this game is not really that huge. Coming at around 50 to 55 GBs, the game is not really huge by today's standards, and yeah, it's of course huge, but by today's standard of a game being of 60 GB or 70 GB, I would say that this game is not that big. However, if size is your concern, then you might want to play Far Cry 3 or Far Cry 4, which are I think around 8 to 20 GB, which is still huge, but which you might think they are an older game, but they still play very nicely. So for size, I would like to give it a 10 out of 10 because they fit a lot of it in just 50 GB, while GTA 5 took 60 GB back in 2013 fit a game of that size. So the physics of the game are great, and if you fire a shot from a long distance, the bullet also bent, which is something which was not seen before in video games that much. However, now it seems to have become a normal thing. But I would say that the physics of the game are 10 out of 10. I have not experienced something which I can say it is wonky. If a hill is too steep, your character won't run on it like Skyrim, and I would say that this game really has a great physics. So I would like to give a 9 out of 10 on that. Now the game doesn't have any bugs that I have personally encountered or have affected me, and the game has neither crashed once, so you can say that the game is pretty much bug free. And one thing that they had in this game are companion characters, which when you die and they have an option to revive you, they do revive you, and if you're under a car, instead of just reviving you and you glitching through the ground because you're under a car, it actually sort of puts you next to the car on an open surface. So I would say that the game handles the bugs really well, and there are no bugs that I could find while playing this game. And you may know that the lower the system performance, the more bugs appear. However, I play on a medium to low end laptop and I did not encounter any bugs. So we can say that the game is completely bug free. Not completely, but not any bugs that you would encounter. So I would say that it gets a 10 out of 10 on bugs. So this gives the game overall a rating of 9, which I think it really deserved, and it is a great game which I would recommend you to try. And so that's all for today's video, guys. Thank you for watching the video. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell icon, and that's all. Thank you for watching the video, guys.